Hey, I'm back. Who knows? What a mess. Every time we use this stuff, I have to re-log into everything. And I didn't used to have to do that. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about all the craziness. I'll just delete this at the beginning. Hey, all this is incorrect. Okay, it's interesting. It's not talking now. Am I muted? No. I am not muted. Nothing is set right, which means I did this last week. I have no idea what I did the last time. But I'm almost done with somebody was saying they're still waiting on their Batman Hush. I don't know if that's actually available. I mean, it should be. It was available on Amazon. I know that they were trying to sell it early to probably shoot. Let me edit it again. So yeah, it was somebody was asking about it recently, and I looked, and it was not on Amazon. So they're probably out of stock. And you know, this one is independent of the Kickstarter. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I hope that it's more available. The outline of what they had. So they have let me mute myself on one of these calls here. Yeah, so finally I can hear myself and not go insane. Yeah, they were putting it out to get more money, but then they got the update, the latest update on, so CMON has a page that shows you where everything's at, and this one is, they're saying end of this year, quarter 4. I don't believe it's gonna happen. I mean, I hope. I'm really hopeful, believing it. So it's really unfortunate. I don't know if it's really doing it. Oh, that was the moderator. Boy, I gotta tell you, this is insane. Can I copy this? Yeah, it looks like it. Command C, using the wrong machine. Edit com. Boy, all this stuff is no fun. And I had a meeting today, so it's not, that was good, but like, just delayed me by over an hour, because I was actually going to stream earlier today. There we go. Let's see if that worked. That worked. Anyway, hooray. So I have this mini that I've been working on. Let's get to that window. But yeah, so we use some software that allows us to edit. Oops, that's the starting soon one. That allows us to remotely connect. And it is way better than what we used to have, but it's also got its problems. So I need to go clean that up. This is the last mini I have to paint for this Superheroes United, DC Superheroes United, Batman Hush. I'm hopeful that we get that stuff. I gotta tell you though, I was real sad to see that basically it's more than a year delayed. I believe it was supposed to be early summer last year. I don't know. I don't remember anymore, but I sure hope that they can do it. I mean, I have a lot of money invested in it. I don't really need the minis, but I would like them. I'm a DC person more than I'm a Marvel person, but I know more about Marvel just because of all of the stuff that's been going on with the DC, the MCU. So, you know, but I used to really enjoy, hey look, it's not really focusing, or is it? I did work on the camera to see if I could get that to be a little bit more reliable, and it's sort of there, but I think I need to have a tablet to just tap it. I mean, I believe I have it set to be center balanced, and let's see how fast it goes here from one to the other. Oh, okay, it's better than it was, for sure. Anyway. But yeah, I hope that they get this together. It's really not great. It's such an expensive campaign, and they're talking about selling more IP, which, I mean, this is kind of it. They've sold Zombicide, they sold Cthulhu Death May Die, they sold, I believe they sold both, Arcadia Quest and Starcadia Quest, which is, you know, those weren't that popular, but I mean, I like them. I mean, I have Starcadia Quest. I would like to probably get Arcadia Quest at some point in time. I've seen some people selling it and contemplated it. Derek was actually, he told me he was selling some of his stuff, but he broke it down for himself to keep, so he got rid of stuff, which, believe me, that is the way to do this if you're looking for storage. We have so much stuff in our house. It's out of control. Games-wise, we actually are going to be making some effort to really thin the collection down. It is a #1 priority. We don't have enough room, and I foolishly had, you know, I looked at my collection at one point and saw that I was within 80 games or so of 5,000 games in our collection. So I was like, and I believe that's accurate, but who knows? We keep finding games that aren't in the system, so it might even be more inaccurate than I know. But I want to use the small brush for this. I have some other brushes I can't find right now. I bought, at Gen Con, I bought the, oh, there they are. I bought the Artis Opus brushes, which I really like. I'm going to pull them out because it's really not the place for them there. These are Series S, so I just wanted to see. Oh, I don't have a 3, so I stopped at 2. I should have bought a 3. I do have another, oh, it's got to be over here somewhere. There it is. So I have an Artis Opus 2, two 2s. I should have got a 3. I like to have a little range of brushes, and these are very nice. They're not inexpensive, that's for sure. And it's probably better to buy them at cons than it is to order them because I didn't have to pay for shipping. True, if it was easy, I don't know. This is just, we have all this wonderful gear and we use it as often as we can, but run into issues. And Derek, you know, he's constantly figuring out like where we should be on that software. It's not inexpensive. And we keep paying to get it upgraded, I believe. We used to use live stream software, and I believe they still do stuff, but we stopped buying their hardware. Their hardware was actually pretty good. We had one computer that did not work out that great. Yeah, focus is better. So I've got it center weighted and it seems fast enough. I'm not real blown away with her skin, but what I think I'm going to try to do is a wash. I bought, oh, here they are. I watched a pretty great video that featured these little trays, and they're actually wonderful for this kind of stuff specifically. I love the fidget popper for speed paints and contrast paints and speed paints, but I bought a bunch of these little guys, which had a bunch of other stuff I didn't need. How many I have here? A lot. And little mixing spoons, which I don't know about those. Oh, the edges look like they're kind of sharp, which I don't need. But it also had pipettes. Is this one of them? Yeah, this is one of them. They're okay, but I don't love them. I usually use it for solvents, so water and alcohol and things like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only need 4, so The rest are for Nikki. Yeah, these are kind of cool. Just little dishes that they're not as flat as I would like them to be, or maybe some of them are and some of them aren't. It's weird. They're not, you know, they're sort of made the same. Let me rinse that as well. But we really need to get through our collection. So we have to. The reality is I need to. I'm long past buying games that I think I'll play someday, and only keep the stuff that I will play. And that's got to be far, far fewer than 5,000 games. So we will see here. So this is, the stone is really the same color. So maybe I can do a wash, a gray wash over it slowly, like, you know, build it up. Come on, focus. It's lighter, but I'm gonna probably beef up her outfit a little darker, maybe with another wash. And then maybe some more. I didn't really do the highlighting that I had hoped to do. Oh yeah, you know what? I was trying to find that too. I rarely buy any new games, too many and shrink. 100%. 100%. It is a serious problem. Man, where would that be? So I had the window open for Chrome. Oh, maybe it's in a, so the actual game found window. And I could have, in trying to get the remote desktop software working, oh, I see, that's a single icon. It fouled up my connection. So I was looking for it here. Now I'm looking in my, so there we go. That might be it. No. Who knows? This has been crazy. I cannot do stuff at the last minute. Even though I was prepared, I was semi-prepared. I came out here and did a lot of stuff earlier on to make sure the camera's working. I didn't have everything going. The goggles look great. Shame I missed you paying them. Oh, I'm sorry, Rollo. I'm getting to the point of limiting my editions. Downsizing is tempting too. It has to happen. We have, our studio has a good amount of space, but our guest bedroom is, they're not all over the place, but they are in all the shelves. We have a lot of games in there. That was where we had our collection initially. And once we started filming out here, we migrated moving the collection to here. So it's cool and everything, but too much. And we aren't going to play them. I mean, it's terrible. I buy games from publishers that I really like, and I fantasize that we're going to get to them, but I don't think so. So this is that's metallic medium. Bold titanium white, don't want that. Bright neutral gray. Do I have another gray from these guys? I probably do. I almost feel like I bought one recently. I do want, like, that's the terrible thing. I don't want every paint collection. I did use this orc gray the other day. Maybe I'll do that. I don't want to just keep buying paint collections, because I already have far too much of that too. And I've given stuff away. I had some friends that their child was learning to paint, and so I gave them brushes and minis and paints, and that's all great and everything, but it's still too, you know, wasn't enough. And I would always, and I mean, I've given stuff away many times. I gave Nick Murphy a bunch of paints one time. One thing I did give away, which I probably shouldn't have, is I have these little painting hobby stations. Wow, what was that? Have these hobby, oh, that's those pipettes. Hobby station that's really cool, but one of them was really for Nikki. Now, I should just, if she would want to get into it again, I should just let her have my painting station, because I don't need it so much. And we could always just share one, as long, because we got little mats and everything. But oh, I just used the wrong brush. But it would be nice. We really would be good to be down, because we have so much. And we don't keep everything as it is. But, you know, we see way, way more games than most people do, because we just have, where's my distilled water? That is not distilled water, as far as I know. There it is. So yeah, we see many, many more games, but we also don't get to them. We can only do about 50-some games in a year, maybe a little bit more because of the SDJs and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of a drag. Let's just see what this looks like. You have to be careful where you lift your brush because it ends up pooling there, right? So, and I keep wrapping around the back. I mean, it's not a big deal. You can come back and wick it, but it's just, you got to be cautious. So I was painting something the other day and I didn't notice it, but I had a little spot that I just never saw from the angles I was working on, and it was kind of a bummer because I was like, oh shoot, and it was a little too dark. That helps a little bit, knocks it down, and maybe I can come back with the, get this brush out of the way. It seems to be focusing on it again. Come on, it's supposed to be centered. I don't think I have it. So there's a way to hook a tablet up to this and then just tap to focus. I probably need to do that. Okay. I'm a campaign game addict, but I really fish. So that's, you know, we have friends that do that. We have lots of friends with campaign games. You know, those are the big ones, especially if they have minis and stuff. You could just keep playing those forever. And that's what, you know, a lifestyle game, which I think is awesome. You know, if you want to get into something like that, like Kingdom Death Monster, which I would love to, you know, do, but that's a little bit much for us anyway, at least on the show. But you see how I'm lifting that and it leaves a little droplet. So what I need to do is actually have a little bit less on the brush so that I can wick it off. Ah, that's smoothed out. But I just want it to lighten a little bit, like my undercoat, which is mostly kind of where I go with a lot of this stuff, is too much. And it's really, it isn't. I mean, I airbrushed a lot of highlighting on it. But I'm really just using a glaze of this gray, which isn't, you know, I don't know. Glazing gray is not my favorite thing to do, but gosh darn it, it is not working like it should. I feel it used to be better. Not recently, but a long time ago. Although it'll do it if I get it right in the shot. Okay, so I want to do a wash on her face to just give it a little bit more rosiness, you know, because it's a little strong. Like everything's kind of gray, and I actually highlighted that a little bit recently. So to do that, I probably could use like one of my flesh shades. Do I have any from Soft Tone? Might do it, but I think I want to use actual like Reichland flesh shade that's really thinned down. And I have that. One of the things I'm not doing when you glaze right now is I don't have a, actually Reichland flesh shade's up here. I have multiple bottles of it, but there's one up here. Goodness gracious. They, you want to have a sponge or paper towel next to you, a damp paper towel, to wick off some of the moisture when you're doing this, because you don't want too much. If too much and you end up ruining kind of like what you're shooting for. 50 games a year, I need to do more than that, right? I'll probably be gone anyway before I would get through all that stuff. But yeah, we do need to. So the real goal was I ended up going to SoCal Games Day, which was really fun. I'm glad I went. And that's an event that we don't go to as often as we would like. And Dave has sort of been running it for a long time, but for the last 5 years. I'm not exactly sure when they started doing it again during the pandemic, because we went before the pandemic was the last time. I was trying to remember, and then I like had a flash. I'm like, oh, it was before the pandemic. And that's unfortunate. But we just can't, normally we're just so busy. We're trying to have a little bit more time. Okay, distilled water. I put that down. I always do this. Put it down. I see the varnish. Did I put it far? Yes, I did. Why do I put it all the way back there? It's a fun event, and we have a lot of people. We actually got to see, well, Nikki didn't go. She's not feeling well, or she's feeling better, but she just got a sinus infection, probably from working in the yard too much. She was really working in the yard and kind of down in it, working on stuff, and she got a sinus infection. So I went to the convention, the event by myself, but I was meeting some friends, and it was great. New friends and older friends, and that helps a little. And so you can build up things. Oops, I'm sorry, you can't see it. So you can build up things like shadows. So it should dry pretty quickly, and it's on a paint, so probably will be okay. But like, I'm not real ecstatic about Superman, but you know what? He actually looks like he's already got the color I want. It's just too intense. But let's just give him a little bit more. Because he looked too, like, first of all, I don't feel that he should be so dark, but he's angry or trapped or whatever is going on here. Contained, I think is what they call it in the game. Just got on his teeth. But I had a great time, played some new games, played some old games. Really saw a lot of people I hadn't seen for 6 years. Now we go to another event that Steph actually helps run the con now, the event. And I met her at that event 21 years ago, 20 and a half years ago. But we go to some of her other things. We haven't been super recently, but we did go in the last few years to one of her cookie baking events, which is really fun. Nikki does not like cooking there, only because she just is a little more deliberate in her cooking, and there's just so many people in the way, so she can't really do it, which I totally understand. Plus, I'm like a neatnik when I do that stuff, even though it's impossible to really be great unless you're very particular about it, but there's just so much, it's crazy. There's like at least 3 or 4 people baking cookies, which is really awesome. And that's really fun too. The event's just great because you get to try a bunch of other kinds of cookies. I do wish that maybe sometime we'll do it. Now that we might have a little more time, we're trying not to do. It's, of course, generally not too long after BGG Con in this fall. Well, I will tell you, I already like that color a little bit better. So I kind of want to paint like some highlights. Ooh, I'm sorry, I keep moving, it gets out of shot. So yeah, this is terrible. This mat is not the right thing. It's focusing on the mat. You move these. So I have some little weights here for the wet palette, and they're okay. They do oxidize very quickly. Come on. What I need to do is get another mat that is just black, but I gotta tell you, I love this mat. I wish that, I don't even think Games Workshop has this style anymore. They have another one, we saw it, but I don't know that it's something that they sell standard. I looked kind of immediately after seeing it. It's similar to this mat, but if you can see here where there's these lines that will contain spills and stuff like that. And it's really, really helpful, especially when you're dealing with me. Neat Nick guy who can't keep things neat. Yeah, he looks better. It's a little more even. He's a little dark still, and maybe I can thin that out with some. I have to wait though for this shade to dry. But brighten up his cheeks, maybe his chin, with a little bit of a flesh tone. So I have this rosy skin. I could maybe use some of that with a little bit of white. What was this one again? Lawful white, matte white. Okay. It's funny what they have. Oh my gosh, keep throwing things around. Ugh. I also need to just deal with this. My desk is getting too much stuff on it. I try not to buy a lot, but I end up buying, I think, some stuff at Gen Con was the last batch of supplies I bought. Brought the brushes I mentioned earlier, some of the Turbo Dork stuff, and things I don't have room for. I have so many paints. Not crazy. I mean, I watch some of these YouTube guys who just have a ton of paints, and that is not me for sure. Let's see. Amanda's writing. Okay, yeah, we're going to film with Amanda on Saturday, which I'm very excited about. Let me look at that. The stone looks better. I would say the plinth or whatever she's on here. I'm going to just leave it at that, and then I'm going to darken up her with some inks as well. We'll use some more of the shades. I kind of wish I had some of the, I have a lot of the, I have a few of the Army Painter shades. I really love the strong tone, but that's a brown. I don't know if dark tone is, dark tone might be an equivalent of Nuln Oil, but I'm going to actually use Nuln Oil if I can find it here. I have many bottles. I actually bought more when they were changing the formulation 3 years ago, just a little over 3 years ago. And man, I don't want my phone over there. I will forget it. And I talked to Aaron. I haven't seen Aaron since he didn't make it to the live stream that we did in December, which is a bummer because I really wanted him to be here for that. And he, wow, this is drying pretty quickly here. And that's the problem with a lot of these is they kind of get jelly when they sit. And I know that that's, I don't know actually about the speed paints, but the contrast paints, they definitely get gel when they sit. So I want a little bit red on her lips. I will once again use, I think I use coral, but I don't know if I want it to be too strong. Oh, thirsty. It's not game night. It'll be game night on Thursday. This was supposed to be a paint stream that was going to happen 3 hours earlier or something like that, but I had a meeting. And I just wanted to paint. I want to get these done. I'm very excited to be nearly done with DC Superheroes United. Maybe we can film it this weekend. Would be really awesome, but I don't know that. We'll see. We have, I can't say because I never know what's going to happen with our schedule, but it would be great if we could. Okay. I need the medium, and once again, you might have seen me do it once already, but I clear out the nozzle of the paints before I spray, because now this one's actually kind of flowing out already, so I already know that it's fine, but I've popped the lid off of this one so easily. I mean, you'll see here, it really comes off so simply, like a little bit of pressure and it's coming off, and it should not. But I don't want to spill it. This is the first bottle I used. I don't know where I'm at on it, but I would bet I've already wasted half the bottle. I didn't waste it because I was able to use some of it, but a lot of it, like a whole row of this, shot through here, and I used as much of it as I could and went with it as I could. You know, it was a bummer. I'm glad Nikki's talking because somebody messaged us in a chain text, which is great, but he doesn't know that I'm streaming, so. It's such a tiny little mouth that, you know, all these chibis, somebody was coming and they're like, oh, they're all kind of, I'm like, yeah, it's chibi style, which I think is fun because I really love the large faces. Really love the large faces. Yeah, so the one thing that really makes these games interesting is the villains, and I think, well, this one has a few, so it's not bad. It has the Joker, and Harley's probably a villain. She should be anyway. I don't know the Hush story. Ugh, it just got on her teeth. Ay. It's really hard to do this. I literally just put it all on her teeth. Very terribly. Okay, well, I gotta fix that too. That's what I get. Oh, this is the gray. Although gray is not bad, it might even be the right choice, but I am going to look for the white. There it is. Man, how terrible. I felt I did a nice enough job on her teeth. And these are huge faces. I should be doing it's hilarious. I should be doing a much better job with these faces. And I just do not know what is sometimes no problems. And then sometimes I have nothing but problems on them. Because they're huge. I mean, look at, I've got something in front of it here, but let me show you one of these faces. This is a Warhammer Underworlds or Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Look at the face difference in sizes. I feel I do a better job. I mean, you know, it's pretty abstract on the little tiny face, but it's still, I feel they look better than these two. Not a good sign. But I like painting the faces. Oh, you know what I think? I thought that was a little bit of white on her on her lips, and that's how I painted that. Nice job. So what I'm doing is trying to put a little bit more white on her fangs so that that kind of you see it more clearly because they're just so tiny. If you look at their paint job on the GameFound, it's so nice. Now, they're 3D printed. I'm not sure. I would imagine probably 3D printed, resin 3D prints of these are better than probably the ones that are mass manufactured in this case, just because the plastic isn't as nice. Man, I tell you, I don't know. I really do hope the games show up, because they just keep getting more exciting to me, even though I love the first range is really good. They look a little bit more like vampire fangs, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be good enough because goodness gracious, I can't do it. But I am going to try to do this wash. Thanks, Board Game James. I'm trying on it. I'm not 100% satisfied, but it's not terrible. So we're going to use another one. We'll use this same tray since it's already dry, but I'll clean it out. Or mostly dry, and I'm pretty much satisfied. You know, Robin needed. Well, it's too dry for that. I'll do it again. Robin could use a little bit of easing on the face there as well. It's just, well, actually even maybe Harley, although I wanted Harley to be pale. I don't know if I've got it as pale. I mean, I think Catwoman should be pale too. Oh, I need a sip. Okay. So I put a little bit of water. I don't want it to be super strong. Maybe a little more because I'm going to be using a lot more of this than I do. Now this Nuln Oil is different. There's a pretty great video out there right now from Tale of Painters, Stolly. Wow, what did I do to myself? I got like a bruise on my hand. Anyway, I believe he's German, and he does really good videos about the paints. Some people don't feel he does a fair coverage, but I really think he does. And wow, that is probably too thin. Although who knows? I wanted to build up to it. I don't want it to go too strong. But he did a video of AK Interactive's new washes that, or whatever they're calling them. I think they're calling them shades too. I think everybody feels like they need to do what GW does, because they were inks originally, and then I believe they're washes. I think I have some washes, and I know I have some inks, old inks too. Okay, so let's just start low here and see what we got, because the boots can be darker anyway. I'm sorry, I'm not in the shot here. I really do think I need to get a black matte. I don't know what I'm going to do either, because I don't like most mattes. They're too thin. This is really a durable and thick one. It lays flat very simply. Doesn't give me too much grief. Focus on the lady. Wow, it is not weighted. It says it's supposed to focus on something that's in the center. It is not doing it. It'll stay on it probably if I keep it in frame. But yeah, her cat suit should be darker, right? Now, the thing is blacks are never really that black. There's always like gray to them. So you want it to have some gray. Wow, out of focus again. Huh. You know what? Let me see if I can put something beneath this that will just even it out. Because this is terrible. I don't feel it used to be this bad. Well, maybe I just paint it closer to the table for now. I have looked for silicone mats, and most of them are for cooking. I do have one that's pretty durable, but it is orange, and I do not want to paint on orange. But I bought two of them for my 3D printing stuff, and I'm using one of them. And I bought some other small ones that were recommended for the machines themselves. I have a couple of machines for my resin printing stuff. And they're okay, but the orange one from a company called Wham Bam, which is they make I don't know exactly what, it's all 3D printing supplies, and I got into their universe when I bought stuff from my FDM printer, which is a filament printer where it prints out. I mean, resin printers print out a layer at a time too, but FDMs print each layer with many, many passes, and resin ones that just do one pass for each layer, which is pretty amazing. Anyway, so I bought like a build plate that is flexible magnetic, so it's easy to pull off, and it's pretty awesome. So I don't remember what her cat, I feel like her cat suit, I'm thinking of the Batman movie, Batman Returns, so that's not a fair comparison, but I might have to come back and do a little bit more highlighting on the highlights, since this is kicking it down quite a bit. Let's just do this. I'm not going to paint the whole whip. But I've always loved using ink shades. I really, the Army Painter Strong Tone, I've been a fan of that since I found out about it, which I think was about 7 years ago. And I don't think they've changed the formula. They have increased the number of colors. I would love to have all the colors, but Strong Tone's really the one I've used the most. And I got some more in the set that I bought of the acrylics, because I really wanted an acrylic, some stronger, not heavy acrylics, but like just a little bit more intense than some of the ones I have. I mean, you know, they're all different between lines and everything, so it's really hard to know, but they seem to be okay. This is the gray is what I put down below, and it did a pretty nice, you know, pseudo glaze on it. So good gosh, it's just out of focus. Yeah, but the goggles are neat. So I did, you know, I tried to do where it's darker on the top, theoretically, like the light reflecting towards the bottom of it coming in, because I think these are supposed to be night vision maybe, and then did some reflections, maybe a hint of her eyes underneath there, and then I put a gloss medium on it. This gloss varnish was from another bottle that I bought not 25 years ago, but probably 22 or so years ago, maybe 20, and Wow, she looks pretty good. And I think the shade really did help. It's a little, it knocked down the highlights a little much, but I will let it dry and consider putting some back on. It's generally how it is. It's kind of like a little dance, getting between how much you want, you know, like what you think it needs, and then you're like, oh, it's too much or whatever, but I turned it out. So it really should, well, you know what, I don't have that on actually. There is a way to connect it, as I say, your tablet. I really think I need to turn that on. I don't want to do it right now because you guys see the stupid menus instead of actually me painting, but next time I'll try to have it working. I did work with it this morning and I was happy, but I'm using like a gigantic iPad Pro, and I think I need to use I have an iPad Mini. I think I need to use that. I was watching the Brothers Murph's top 10 cooperative games, and they had Marvel United. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. They had Marvel United in there, and the only mini I saw painted was Doctor Strange, which is hilarious because he did a video of basically my complaints about painting faces, like painting Doctor Strange's eyes. It was just so funny. And I love that that's all that he's painted so far. Well, you know, we're all so busy. But there's a short or something like that maybe on YouTube of him doing that, and it's just funny. Comic gold. Ugh, getting paint on her lip. Do not do that. It must protrude a bunch here. Good gosh. Guess I don't mind a little bit of shine on her lips, but the upper lip is so faint, it doesn't really work. Whatever. Okay. I do need to figure out the logins on all this stuff. It's really weird. Every time it logs me out. Yeah, the iPad Pro is too big for here. And what I need to look for is like a little clip-mounted iPad for the iPad Mini that I could just put over to the side and just tap it. I mean, I have a screen here that I'm using, what they call a confidence monitor. So I can see whether things are in focus, and you know, it's giving me no confidence that I'm getting it right. I wonder how much paint I have left in here, because this is the first bottle that I bought of, I believe I bought a few paints in that first run of these paints from Pro Acryl, but this one is from Vancouver, Armstrong, British Columbia. And it's made in Canada, and I believe the new stuff is made in Arizona. Yeah, made in USA. So I don't know if the deal was that they had worked it out, and then they had a deal with Creature Caster, because I believe that's who was their original distributor, and they started doing it on their own, and they moved. I mean, they might have been based in Arizona already, but they moved their operations to Arizona. And I really like their paints. I have a bunch now. Let me see if I can find the other box. It might be further down. But I do want to see if I have any grays. So a friend at Atomic Mass, which is the miniature kind of line of Payne's gray, slate gray, cool gray. I have a bunch of grays in here. He got me, they sent me the paints for the line. So it's interesting. They make these colors. It's 2 sets, and they're meant to be. Wow, there's a wash in there: magenta wash, petroleum brown wash, and paint. Oh, Payne's Gray wash. Flake and cool gray. That's cool. But the thing is they don't duplicate any colors. I mean, maybe black, but they don't duplicate any colors in their line. It's sort of like what Army Painter's doing, where Army Painter does sets, and they just add to their collection. And when you buy the box sets, so this set of 50 that I have, paints. So it's paints, washes, metallics, and some effects paints. You can buy other sets, and they're just going to mostly be new colors. So you're building up your palette of those colors, and it's such a great idea, like, to go that way. If you can do it and have compelling sets, and I just really appreciate. Because that's my problem. I'm one of those people that doesn't believe you should buy a set of paints. You should buy what you need, because, you end up like me and you have too many paints that you don't need. I really don't need this many different. Come on, it's really, the background sucks. I don't need this many paints. I have a few Citadel standard acrylics. I have some stuff made by HMG, I think used to be the manufacturer. They were like the manufacturer of Citadel paints Citadel paints back in the day. And then they went to some manufacturer in France. And this is all just, I only know that it's because it was made in France. I had some bottles. And the unfortunate thing is, I actually really like those paints. I don't know who made them, but they truly were the worst bottles. The paints I had many paints that I bought, and I bought like 2 because I thought I was going to need it. And the other paint just dried in the bottle without even ever being opened pretty darn quickly. And it sucked, because like, I really enjoyed most of the paints, but I particularly, at least from memory, loved their metallics. And they really are not, I don't know. So anyway, I have some of the HMG paints. Some of them are P3, some of them are Nitro, some of them are Coat d'Arms. Those are all made by HMG. And then I guess Games Workshop, when they came back to the UK, they did some of them at HMG, at least for a while. I know, so there was that big range in the mid to late 2000s that they actually made some stuff in China, which was just, those were terrible. They were like what they called foundation paints. I wonder where those are at. I know I have some of those. And they just weren't good, and they smelled like house paint. Which, maybe that's fine, but that just said to me that wasn't the right mix. But anyway, although I did like one of those foundation paints, I believe it was a light color. And there's the ones I have left, I think, are ones that I don't care about. I might have had like a purple, though, or something like that. But anyway. And then they went back to HMG, I think. And I think they were with HMG for a while. Like, supposedly their Retributor's Armor was like a very expensive paint to make. But they were like, we like that gold. So whatever the pigment was, however they did it was just a little much. And it... But I'm not sure about the new ones. I haven't bought one. I actually bought the last bottle I have in the pandemic. So, ooh, that's nice. Those fit right in there. Wow, I wonder if these will fit too. Sure enough. I need to figure out, like, I have like a rack for my brushes, but like a lot of the brushes I just don't use, and they need to be my active brushes, not good new brushes I've got on storage. Okay, now, did I find, no, I did not find it. DC Super. Okay, not in history. No, Sarek, this was just a change. I had a meeting this morning during when I would be having the paint stream, and I really wanted to paint. My goal is I really would like to get these done. And so I thought, well, I'll go have lunch with Nikki. We usually have a lunch after our paint stream. And Nikki's not feeling great, so she's not, we're not cooking as much. Although we did last night too. But anyway, it's just a traditional Tuesday thing. And it's usually Taco Bell, so not like it's anything special. But I was racing back to, after the meeting, then to have, get started, and I was a little bit delayed. I think Batman's skin tone looks fine. I'll probably try to do a little bit. He's got some weird looking jowly kind of thing going on. I think it's supposed to be his jaw, but it doesn't look that great. He's fine. Let's see here. Actually, my favorite skin tone isn't a skin tone. Oh, there's a little bit of skin tone in there. Is the Hush. It's pretty funny. There's a little bit of flesh in there. So we were talking about these three, or the remaining ones that don't have. He needs a little, he probably should be a little bit lighter, but I think it should be a tiny bit darker on his forehead. Let's look at Harley, see if she's fine. I'm just gonna go with that. I want her to be pale. She looks awesome. And then Huntress, I think she looks fine too. Her eyes look pretty nice. But I'm really basically done. Okay, and then he's definitely just white is what we want. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm really excited. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is it. I do believe I varnished him already, so I need to... It's okay to paint over your varnish, and you should do multiple coats of varnish anyway to protect them, especially with these paints, especially with these contrast and speed paints, because they're kind of thin. They go on pretty thin, and just a little bit of handling them will wear right through. And they're really fantastic for getting quick results and pretty nice results. And I feel like I got a little bit of silver on his boot, the tip of his toe, and it's driving me crazy. So let me get a tiny bit of black paint and touch that up. But yeah, so we won't stream like this normally, and then we'll stream, of course, on Thursday. We're planning on doing something. I can't remember what we were talking about. We'll see. It's something we played with more players. So we did play a new game to us that came out at Gen Con, I think, that I'm hoping to film this weekend. And we might do that on the stream if it shows up on Thursday. Okie dokie. But I'm very excited. This is mostly done. So I want to do some varnish. We'll start with Hush. And when I do this, I kind of want to do them all. It's not really bad. They mostly lay flat. You don't have too many troubles. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them on hopefully this is sticky. Somebody was saying I need to get the blue tack. I'm using like poster tack, and supposedly blue tack is very strong hold, and I definitely need it. So what is that on his coat? Gosh, I saw a video of a guy painting a leather coat, and it was so phenomenal. It's a larger scale figure, but man, it was so great. The wear was incredible. It's on YouTube. It was really neat. That is something is on there, so I'm going to try to touch that up. Do I want to do that before I varnish? Gosh. Come on, focus. Okay. I really like the way this one turned out, and I don't know this character. I was actually watching something talking about it. But he's neat. Maybe you wouldn't notice. I can just, it can be just damage or whatever, Actually, let me just do this. If I can just tone it down a tiny bit before I put the varnish on. really just for me. I feel like it's something got on it. Except I don't feel the bump, or maybe I am feeling a bump. It's not coming off. Okie dokie. Let's try a little bit of brown. Actually, I know this brown here. Actually, really what it should be is some of the dark. Well, yeah, I really need to let it go. Only going to foul things up. But it's very strange. I didn't notice that. It looks literally like it's a chunk of paint, and it could be. It could very well be. Let's see if I can remove it a little bit more. Because it's like poking up. It's above the miniature for sure. Hey, it might be the primer. Which is crazy because, you know, I put a white over the black and not a lot of white or gray. But at least it looks like it's flatter. So I will use this one, hardened leather, and see if that'll work. Means I won't varnish him right away though, because I don't want to do it without paint on there. Although these paints dry very quickly. We'll see how that goes. It looks kind of red. It's a different color for sure. I don't remember what I chose. I thought I chose a leather. Could have been snakebite leather. That'll be fine. Cool. Let that dry for a few. Go to an actual one I can paint. Let's do, well, I don't want to paint this one yet either. I feel like I want to work on the tiles a little bit, but maybe not. They look pretty good. The brick is a little intense, so that needs to be subdued. Let's do that, meaning she won't get painted right away. You know, I did that brown, and well, you know what I did? I put my the brush inside the paint. I didn't actually squirt it out of the bottle. Wow, see, this gels up too. Oh no, this is the Nuln Oil. So yeah, I wish I had, well, I do have blue wash, and maybe I did that already. I think I did do that because it's the highlights were a little too strong. But I like it. I like it that it's like nighttime. I mean, seems like Huntress looks like she's doing it at night. You know what I didn't do is any highlights on her hair. Oh boy, I keep thinking I'm done. I am not done. He seems done. Let's go with him. I'm going to notice something I want to fix, but I'm going to go with varnishing him first. I think I'm going to actually paint these little windows so that they're shiny. And probably maybe a satiny gloss on the the ooze here. Again, I don't really have any highlights on his hair. I did go dark on it, but I feel like it needs some light. Man, if I keep doing this, I'm not going to get anything done. Let's go with it. He looks cool anyway. I could sit here and think about it forever. Okay, so you want to use not your best brush with varnishes. I feel like they do okay that way. Boy, that really actually needs to be clean. It's got whatever's in there. Might actually even be varnish. I don't know, it's pretty stiff. So let me get my brush soap out, because I might not have done a very good job on it, cleaning it the last time. And that's possible, I mean. Okay, so I mostly use AK Interactive varnishes. I really like them. Not in love with them as a company anymore. So I basically do slightly more matte varnish. I have satin. Well, actually, I might as well have 3 bottles out here. I have the satin varnish. I have the matte varnish, I have the ultra matte. I really love the ultra matte. If you can even see in this bottle, I've used it more than any of the other ones. But I like the other ones well, matte especially. Satin's a little shiny for me, but it has its uses. The funny thing is, I think this one is like the thinnest and that this is the thickest, so I'm not sure what they've got going on with the matte varnishes. I did buy these at a place in Burbank called Burbank Hobbies, and they're pretty great. They're mostly geared towards model, not miniature painting. They don't have any of the fantasy lines, I don't think. They might have some of the Vallejo stuff, but probably not the game color, whatever they call it. Any new two-player games I'd recommend. Tag Team is pretty cool. We haven't played it yet on the show. We want to, we haven't been doing date night. We really need to. It's just been too many things going on. Particularly because, Nikki's helping take care of her parents now much more, and that's really been hard. My mom's not there yet, but she's getting there, and it just worries us completely, But we need to get back to it. We really do. We like doing it, and it's helpful just to have, so we can do some of those two-player games. Oh, this is the ultra matte. Is it going to be thicker? Nope, I feel that is the thinner one. I am wrong then on the mix. It's the matte that is the... I probably should mix more than I'm doing here, because I'm going to varnish, hopefully, a few things. Oh yeah, Panda's on the, she starts at 3 our time, and I just was like, well, I'm not going to disrupt hers, and it's fine. Anybody that's, if you're watching me on YouTube, yeah, you can see this is more like white glue. I don't know if you can see it, but its consistency is different. But yeah, I didn't want to get in the way. And I know Amanda's not feeling great either. We are going to see her this weekend. So I was hoping to see her at Games Day that I went to on Saturday, but she was not feeling well. I did see Jackie. Jackie Fox was there, which was great. And I did see Josh Wood, the designer of, I think I might have mentioned earlier, he was the designer of Let's Go to Tokyo. He has a new one coming, Let's Go to France, which sounds fun. Looked great. I did not get to play it. Some folks were playing it. It was really nice of him to let him try it out. I think it's going to crowdfund. I know it's going to crowdfunding, so I don't know if when that means it's going to deliver. Old school glue. Actually, it does look like that kind of glue, that the school glue that's thin. The Elmer's is what we used to use. Okay, well, let's see how we do here. This is a big, heavy brush, so it should do okay. Of course, I have a whole bunch up here that will dry and not be great, so. I actually don't like using my brush to mix, but these little things are kind of more designed for that. The little saucers here. Focus. Not that you've got to see this in clear detail, but it might give you an idea about how much I actually use. Okay. It is pretty runny. And it really does amazingly self-level well. But I put too much on here. Now, I have only ever varnished minis by airbrush a few times. I have so many airbrushes I should be able to do it and not worry about. It won't destroy it, but it does make it hard to clean, I believe. Varnish is much more of a tough dry, and you don't want to get, you can ruin your paint brushes. I don't know how easily you can destroy, mess up your airbrush. But you can clean them. You can clean your regular brush too, if it's dried. Good gosh, this is just not working out here. Thought for sure. Spent all that time this morning. Seemed like it was focusing like it should. So there is a way to track it, I think, but maybe. I know we have it on our new Sony camera. Maybe not on this one. I did get a bunch of new glasses. I'm hoping it work out. I'm not 100% sure on all of them. I mean, what I've done is I've gotten 2 prescriptions, one for mid-table, basically like computer glasses, and that's what I will use them for as well, because I was like, wow, these really do a good job on my computer. And too much. I find, for me anyway, rotating the base counterclockwise when I do this, I do a better job for whatever reason. I think it's just because it's the nature of the brushing. I'm pulling it over the already painted part, and it does a better job when I do it this way on the bottom. So it's going to probably be, I can already see it's drying pretty matte. And I tried to lean a little bit to a tiny bit more, come on, a tiny bit more sheen, and I'm not getting it. I probably put in too much of the ultra matte. because the matte is not that matte. It's weird. It's matte though. Whatever, it's all. But Byron over on Artist Opus channel, he really has a lot of, he's such a great dry brusher, man. But he's a great painter as well. And he, I mean, he teaches classes for Cult of Paint. And he's pretty good. They had a, I missed out. Again, I don't need paints. I probably even saw the Kickstarter and just didn't pay attention because I really don't need any more paints. But they had some nice looking paints, I gotta tell you. At least the colors looked great. Andy Wardle is the other one that helped, well, the other front-facing one that helped develop him, and he does, first of all, he wins lots of awards. He's a really amazing painter. And, dang it, moving it and get it out of frame. But man, his colors are pretty vibrant, and it turns out that he'd been using some of them for a little while now because they've been developing these paints, and they kickstarted a few. You can still late pledge, but number one, I don't need to spend $200-something on more paints. But number two, I also don't need 63 bottles of paint. But yeah, they look great. I mean, the purples were, it's usually where I'm disappointed. I don't know how they were on the browns. That's another range that I feel like there's just not enough variety. There are actually multiple colors of brown, you know, whether they're warmer or cooler, that are really great to have, you know, I mean, and every set I know just doesn't do brown justice, or purple. Now, Games Workshop's, the contrast paints, at least in the bunch I have, I might have missed one of the first waves, because I don't have all of the first wave. They did send me all of the second wave, but after getting that second wave, now, I mean, they might be just better, but I kind of learned that what people think are the great colors don't necessarily apply to me, because I've, like, one of my favorite colors is not a color that people go crazy about, and I really like them. But anyway, so I might get some of the other ones. I kind of want to get the Ultramarines Blue. If I roll it out of frame, no wonder it's not doing it. The Ultramarines Blue, which does look like it's not a great one, but since I kind of have different application methods than when I first started doing it, it might be better. I don't know. I don't really need it anyway. I think it's like 8 other bottles that I haven't got. Ay. Yeah, you can see it's drying. It's pretty, oh, sorry. It's pretty matte. Although I really like it. I think it looks good. So it's not too matte. Because it can really look super dead matte. Like really strongly flat. And this has a bit more going on right in here. Now, that could be, I don't know. I think it looks good. I think the base looks pretty good too. This is usually where I don't, the rim of the base, it's generally where I don't love too matte. Although me putting this on now could even make it more matte. But the base is one of the ones where you really kind of have to give it a few coats, because you end up handling it a lot. Okay, so I think I got the body done. I have the face. I've got both gloves. I do not have the inside of this here. Now, it's not like I didn't do his shoes. I might as well do it. I'm probably going to put another, I'm going to probably put a satin wash on his shoes. Maybe, we'll see. I don't know, we'll see here. It's probably better to just paint this and then put another coat of the, of a slightly more paint with a sheen on top of it if I want to do that. His tails I did not do that great of a job on here either. Ooh, focus. Keep knocking stuff down here. I saw a pretty great video from Squidmar on his Squidly Bits channel, which is a new, I don't even see his other channel anymore. For whatever reason, I'm only being served the other one from YouTube. And I do actually, I am subscribed, I believe, to the other one. But anyway, but he was showing how to photograph minis, and it was really great because it was actual super great advice. Things that I know from lighting stuff, but he was doing it, you know, like explaining why you would, I mean, part of the reason he was doing it is he has a contest, a miniatures painting contest, and they wanted you to submit your best results. But it was really great advice, really great, and it was explaining why you don't necessarily need to have an amazing camera, because lighting does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. It was great, really great video. But the number one thing is don't light, first of all, keep it from your backdrop. You kind of want to not have that even be in focus, and if your miniature is close to the back, you're going to see, it's going to like, you're going to see shadows and reflections and things like that that don't apply to your mini. It was pretty awesome. Come on, focus. I really do think I have to. Well, you know what? One of the things that I did that has not that has changed is I moved the camera, I think. Let's see if I can just get the it was closer to me before. And I don't remember exactly what I did, but let's do that. So it's not just, my head gets in the way a little bit more easily, but that may be why I was having focus issues. Because it's focusing on that other stuff. Because it's also in the center, right? The logo is basically in the center. So that could be what's going on. So I have some gloss. Let me clean this off. Your readers, these are readers, if that's what you're talking about, glasses, but I actually have, so I have two different, so that would be three different kinds of, these are not prescriptions, but these are my seeing glasses, you know, my distance vision, and then I have another pair that is for gaming that, because I can see like halfway across the table, no problem with my vision as is without glasses, like perfectly. But beyond that, it gets rough. And so we did film something with Dave recently, and he put something in the camera. There's a zoom camera shot that we have for the car, like close-ups of cards and stuff, and I couldn't see it very well. So I was sad because I got new glasses and they don't really cover that, so I was a little bummed. So we'll see. But I do have more coming. I bought more of the same because they are great. Also, I don't feel we should teach from there. We've had a couple of games that teach from there, and I was I didn't know what was going on in the game because I couldn't see it, and I didn't want to be a burden to the people teaching the game. And it was a bummer. I'm not even sure the others at the table could see that clearly. That was the downer. But Dave actually uses readers at the table, and I do not. They don't. They're good for this, because that's where I have problems, is just getting the mini up close and seeing it. And I can see it pretty close to my face right here. Not as close as I used to be able to get stuff without glasses, but it's fine. So yeah, I think the window, I did the port so it's shiny. You know, his leather shoes don't necessarily need to be, although he's kind of like wearing a tux, so I almost feel like they should be patent leather. Maybe I will gloss them up a bit here. The fabric would not be. The spats or whatever wouldn't be shiny necessarily. I don't know how fast this dries, but I'm going to put a tiny bit over this because I spilled the gloss over that. And that is disappointing. Anyway, this looks pretty good on the base, the rim. It's actually about the right level of sheen. So this is the right mix. It was weighted more towards the matte varnish and not this ultra matte varnish. Now his face is maybe a little too much matte. Like I want his gloves to be that, but I want his face to have a tiny bit of sheen. So it looks pretty dry. I could probably get away with it. So the sad thing is I don't have any gloss varnish from AK. I'd like to try to use them in the same range, but some things you just can't. One of the things I always see, wow, that looks worrisome. You know, use the thinner that is, you know, the solution or the thinner or whatever that is for that brand, and they don't always have a brand. It's not quite dry. Hope it's not too shiny. It could be though. But you know, like faces are kind of oily. They're going to have a bit of a sheen to them. So maybe it'll be fine. But yeah, these are cool little trays. You can mix the paint, and it's got this spout that will allow you to pour it into like an airbrush or something like that. So you get a good idea of like what the paint looks like for the most part. Yeah, that makes a difference. I think that's what's been the problem. I moved the camera to get my head away from the... What would really be best is if I I probably should have used satin varnish now that I think about it, but we'll let this dry. It'll keep his face. So gloss is actually more durable than any of the other varnishes. So I could put a mix of satin and I actually put a pretty strong satin with that gloss, but I can already tell it will be a little, maybe not. We'll see. We'll let it dry completely. And if not, we can put more on top of it. The only issue is with the gloss is you're not going to have as much for the finish to hold on to. It's, you know, the more matte it is, the more likely it's going to hold it. I use a formulated 4 undercoating primer. Did I get that around the base? I don't know. It's just that you're going to catch all this stuff, handling it. So that's pretty shiny in there. It's not too intense. So and that's just the gloss. So maybe we're okay on the on his skin. It does actually seem to be. Oh, the gloss. I'm trying to get more gloss to do the windows, little ports. I can't remember who made that gloss varnish. It was basically a Tester's like sister brand which I was, I was a Tester's kid when I was young because there wasn't really a lot of choices and it was all enamel. And I've never been a fan of oil paints, enamel paints, because I do not like cleaning them. Okay. Make sure it's dry mostly dry before I take it off because it does look pretty dry on the base, on the rim. It's mostly where it's going to be handled. Okay. Time for Batman. Now I want the cape to be, I'm just, basically following the Tim Burton Batman movies. I sort of feel like I've done this one already, though. I might have done one. But you know what? More coats is good. So. He's huge. Really, really a huge mini. I mean, for a standard single character. falling off the thing already here. So heavy. I need to look for blue tack. I don't know if I've ever even used blue tack. It literally is just falling right off. Doesn't seem to be having trouble tracking what to focus on with this mini. Is that his hand up in there? You can see, I guess so. So one of the things that you're going to have a problem with though when you do this is when you paint a varnish over the metallic, it really kills the metallic. And so now metallics can be pretty durable. So if you do it right, maybe you don't have to put a varnish over it. I don't know, I think you should varnish everything. So maybe you have to go back and do a satin varnish or something to bump it back up. I definitely don't want to let it pool if I can help it. Although it does generally do a good job of just settling. It's already starting to dry now. I don't think I got that wing of it up there. You know what I think I did varnish? I think I varnished the spotlight. What do they call these? Chase lights or search lights. Which is fine. You can always put another coat of a slightly shinier one. But I believe that is the one I'm remembering now. So I'm probably only going to get through 2, maybe another miniature with this amount of varnish. It's crazy. Now this is huge. I mean, it's not as big as some of the ones we got on these, but it's a big one. And so the cape is massive. Oof. The base looks kind of spotty, but that just could be drying slow. Can't set that one down. Let's look at Catwoman, see how she's doing. So it looks pretty good. I'm going to be satisfied with that. It's fine. I might work on her teeth a little bit more. The mouth is not what I'd hoped, but I kind of feel like I've only got a few mouths that I was particularly pleased with. Okay, so his face is very matte. Even with the gloss, now look at that. There's some stuff that's taking a little bit of time to dry there. You know, and that's just pools of it. It should be okay. The little portals look reasonably shiny. That's cool. Well, while he dries, I don't think I can get this. Oh, it's getting there. I will want to do a few more. I don't think I varnished this. I think I might have done the light though. I feel like I used a light, a shinier. I wish I actually did it on camera because then I could go back and look. But I'm pretty sure I did it on a different day. So definitely the matte varnishes dry quicker. Now, they're not cured. You want to let all this stuff cure overnight. I didn't have her hair done, but I'm going to go with it anyway. And maybe do some highlights later. So let that dry. And you can see my hair getting in the shot. I need to figure that out. What I really need is something behind my shoulder, and I don't want to work that way. It is really the best way to go, though. You can kind of angle it more at your face, and you can tilt your head up a little more. But I think it would just be, I would be running into it constantly. I'm just a little too tall for anything like that. Going to let that dry before I put on the varnish around the rim. He's looking pretty good. The cape is way more matte than I probably want it to be. And it doesn't look like I did a great job of getting, you can see some brush strokey kind of stuff there. So second coat, and then maybe another coat with a little bit of satin in it. Which definitely makes me feel I did not do the cape. Pretty sure I did the light. It is weird though that I missed some, so you know, I mean, I am going kind of quickly. About out of varnish. Okay. Let that dry again on there. Still not ready to peel it off. Okay. I definitely put some varnish on her. I do not know what happened here because I can see it's not even. Cool. I hate my eye. Okay, what time is it? Oof, my eye. So you can see how easy it is to clean these fidget poppers to paint, get the paint off. It's funny, I put the paint on my left and I'm right-handed, so it's really not in the right spot, but it usually comes right off. Sometimes it gets a little flaky, probably because you can see there was some green in there from previous. I have to do a real good scrub on it, but it does a pretty good job. Let's see how the Joker is here. Looks good. I'm not really happy. Oh, there was something stuck there. Interesting. So I think I'm going to do a satin on the stuff here. So got a million things with paint in them. Well, not million, 3. I have one more. So I'm going to use that and do a little satin. That is not satin, that is the satin. It's out of focus. What's in here? Is it my head that got into focus? There we go. I do have to reach across, so it's certainly possible my head got in the shot. Interesting, the satin is, I bought these at the same time, was cheaper, $1 cheaper. Wonder if it's just the nature of how to make it. So I have done this as well with a bit of matte in it, like a lot more. So ultra matte in it. And it actually is a pretty great level as well. It's going to be, the satin is more durable than the matte ones. But it was for another kind of purpose, I think. We shall see how it looks here. Might be too much. I'm not going to put it on the spats yet. I might put it on the spats. But it's funny, his face is, with the gloss in it, is almost as matte as it was before. Maybe a tiny bit. You don't want it to be too shiny though. Okay, the cape looks better. I did it evened out. There was clearly, I was too thin on some of it, I think. It doesn't look terrible, the silver. I mean, that's all it really has. The highlights, the rim has, the frame has a little bit of metallic stuff going on there, and so I'll see if I can polish it up a little bit. I don't want to put them on. I feel like his utility belt might have a little sheen to it as well, but I'll put his buckle. I think he can come off. Woof. It's actually pretty good on there. I did push him on because he was very, very loosely on there. Okay. The wash definitely helped, darkened it down. Like I felt, I put more light up here, airbrushing wise, to get it, because it's higher up. Her head probably should have a little bit more, but it has some. But once I put the Nuln Oil on it, it really knocked it down quite a bit. So it looks good. Okay, a little bit more before I really need to clean this. It's got varnish on it. I think it's hard on the bristles too, so I mean a synthetic is probably the way to go on it. I don't really know. So that's my rinse well. I need the distilled water. Here it is. She needs to be varnished. Oh, let's see how that looks. It does seem a little matte. So maybe a wee bit of... How is the satin looking on this? I can't really tell. It looks pretty shiny though. Not in the shot, sorry. So yeah, you definitely need more time to cure. It looks dry, it's kind of dry, mostly dry to the touch, but you want to do more than that. I do want to do Hush, but I may wait. If I do that, I need to sort out what's done and what is not done, or mostly done, in other words, because I probably will do another coat. And you know, I did that touch up and I can still see it, so I'm not going to worry about it. Didn't ruin it, at least. That's hilarious. So yeah, it needs a lot more. It takes longer to dry, so it's really hard to tell. This is pretty dry here. It's not really dry, but it's dry so that you have a good idea of how much sheen it will be. It feels like it's going to be shinier than the, less shiny than the portals, so we should be good. And you know, you don't really even need to do the gloss or anything like that, but I'm just having fun. Okay. Get some more to clean this one out. Her teeth still don't look right. I really blew it on that. So the white is back in the back. Thanks, Gigi's Game Room. I'm working on them. I've been varnishing. Batman's varnished. He looks great. Cape looks good. It's got probably the right level of sheen. Huntress looks pretty good. She's not quite dry yet, but I really like it. How's everything going, Andrea? Let me look at Superman's face. It's better, but he definitely needs some highlights on his forehead and his cheeks and his chin. Looks a little too dark. So maybe I'll do that now after I do this white. Then I'm gonna do on Catwoman's teeth. I don't think there's enough moisture in here. And now too much moisture. Either or. Too much. Ugh, on her lips again. I have to tilt it away from me a little bit, I think. Yeah, it's hard. Very, very tiny fangs. Yeah, I've got most of the ones done. This is Superman controlled. So I don't know exactly what that. I think that's a new thing in the game. I've got Robin, who's not quite done. He's close. His face, I think, needs some work. I've got Harley, who turned out really neat. She's one of the early ones I painted. I think I painted Batman first, but I really like her. I'm pretty happy with the cloud of dust here from her smashing the tiles. Hush is pretty awesome. He looks cool. And then the Joker, who I put some satin in the vat of acid or whatever it is here. Probably should put a little bit of sheen to his hair as well. I'll let all of that dry. We got Huntress. There's only 8 in this game, which is, for a box game, it's normally 10. Then we got Batman. He turned out good. And then Catwoman. So that they're mostly done. No varnish on this yet. Oh, there's some on her goggles. I did do gloss there. So yeah, it's getting close. I'm really happy. I'm thinking that maybe we'll get to film it this weekend. It would really be cool. My issue, of course, is it going to be available? I don't know what's going on with them. As I said, I looked. I can take a peek right now and see if by chance it's listed. I don't think it is, though. I don't know if it was an Amazon exclusive, and it might be just hard to get here in the US. I don't know. I had people upset that I was getting the game, and I'm like, well, this isn't the game. This isn't DC Superheroes United. This was something that they mentioned in the campaign. So it's you know, they had an update, and they said that they were looking at the end of the year for delivery. Oh, I'm looking on the wrong thing. I want to look at Amazon. But I'm pretty sure I looked for it recently and it was gone. And it's a bummer. No. I don't know. It's another, you know, this is probably partially through let me type Batman Hush. There we go, Batman Hush. It is through Spin Master probably. Yeah, I don't see it. Let's see if it's available anywhere else. See, that's the challenge. I don't really want to do the video if it's not available. I mean, we do that occasionally, but I don't love it. Herpes. I don't think that's what I was typing. Super herpes. It's on eBay. It does show it on Amazon. $38. Okay, so they do have it. I bought it in August. No, I don't want to save it to a list. How did I not find that? So it is available. We could do it. 1 to 5 players. I'm not buying now either. Why did I not find that? Maybe because I didn't type Spin Master Games. Well, there you go. That's a plus, so maybe we can do that. I don't know that. We're talking about having Aaron over, so I don't know that Aaron will have fun with it. He is, I think, burned out with comic stuff, but at least it's not Marvel. I know we played a lot of Marvel with him. Okay, well, I think I'm done for the day. Let me see what time it is. I was just looking at my phone. I should have seen it. It is 4:10. That seems pretty good. Oh, we have that other game we want to do too. Okay. Well, let me cut to the other camera if it'll let me. Cool. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for the chat. Hanging with me in the afternoon. I was really hopeful. I mean, I'm close. I still need to varnish. I probably will have to do that tomorrow. But because I definitely want them to dry before we handle them on the show. It would be fun. I don't know if Dave played with us. I think it was Mike and Aaron. I'm pretty sure that played the original one. And we've played these a bunch on the live streams, but we have not played them in any of the other expansions. I had painted Spider-Geddon in hopes of doing. I think we did it on live stream, but I was really wanting to do them on the show. But this is one that hopefully will maybe help Simon. I would really love to get the game. I hope that all the stuff that I've ordered. I believe I have $520 in it, plus whatever shipping they might have added. I think they added shipping on that one. I don't know. I mean, they will if they haven't. It might have been just. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was on Witching Hour, which I did get my Witching Hour pre-order. That was not a crowdfunder, not a crowdfunded game. So it's just an expansion with a few things that were already available. Essentially, like I think they cast the Hulk in gray, so he could be Gray Hulk. Agatha Harkness is new. I don't know if I would really be awesome if Scarlet Witch was a different model, but I don't think it is. But I'll look. But I want to paint those too. I think I'm going to get back to multiverse, but I also want to paint. I have the Crisis Protocol stuff, and I kind of want to paint those too. The sad thing is it's more Marvel, and I like all of them. I just want to paint something different. Anyway, let's go see if there's somebody we can raid. We're earlier in the evening on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, you can follow through and join in. I don't know how many folks are. I got 10 people here. That's pretty awesome. Thank you for being here. Let me get to the control. This was running the whole time. That can't be helpful. Let's go to the dashboards. There's a creator dashboard, and hey, Zako, thank you so much for being here. Maybe it's not quite late enough for Bonds. I keep hoping to catch her. She's usually streaming the same time we do, so evenings wise. There we go, following. So the button is sometimes there and sometimes it's not. Hey, Amanda. She's been up for an hour, but let's go raid Amanda. She went to the front page about an hour and a half into my stream. So everybody say hello for me. Let me double check. Time Roller's been up for 3 hours. Yeah, let's raid Amanda. We'll get a little bit with her. She's got more people watching than I do. And say hello for me if you would. And have a great week so far. We'll be back on Thursday with if Nikki's feeling fine, we'll be back with a regular Game Night Live on Thursday evening, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye, everybody on Twitch. And then YouTube, folks, thanks for being here with me. I really appreciate you being here. And the chatter was even more active in in YouTube. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great one. Enjoy your day or evening, wherever